Today we're going to be talking about what I consider to be the peak of Fortnite Chapter 1. These 10 seasons are for sure the most iconic in Fortnite and what everyone really remembers. Although some of these seasons don't really stack up to others in the new chapters, I would say a majority of these seasons completely fill the top 10 seasons of all time. I'm going to be ranking these seasons based on a lot of factors like enjoyability, how objectively good they are, how much stuff was added into it, and as this is chapter 1, how influential these seasons were in regards to the later seasons. So just keep in mind, this is my opinion, and you're for sure not going to agree with all of the rankings I have. But now that that's out of the way, we could dive into number 10. Coming in at dead last, and it's not really close, we have Season X or Season 10. Epic really tried to go all out with this season, as it was the last one before going to a new map and a new chapter, but they ended up just doing way too much. The concept was that time is twisting, so they were just bringing back old locations that had weird gimmicks, so it was really just too chaotic. The map just had way too much to it, with almost every location having some gimmick, like Greasy Grove having Taco Time, and also now Paradise Palms being Moisty Palms, and you could just randomly turn into a prop. Some of the pros for this season though were that some of these gimmicks were fun, like Tilted Town was a pretty cool twist on not building, and then Starry Suburbs had pretty cool loot with stars dropping from the sky, so it was always a pretty good place to go. But other than that, those two pros were really it. They were kind of just doing too much, and it kind of just made everyone sick of it and gave everyone a headache. So when the end event came, they were just all super happy to go to a new season. But by far, easily the worst con of this were the mechs. Everyone hated the mechs, pro players, casual players. All you really had to do was get into a mech at the start of the game, and then you can just easily win the game by holding like 2 buttons. The mechs really ruined this season, and I think it could have been okay without them, but that's not how it was. The mechs were in the season for the entire season, so that's why season 10 is coming in last. Now coming in next, this is going to be very controversial, but I have season 1. Now before you say anything about it, I didn't really play this season, so my only experience with it is seeing videos and then playing it during Fortnite OG. But based on what I've seen, it's just there really wasn't anything in the game. There was maybe like 5 named locations, with the rest of the map being completely empty. There wasn't really any selection of guns. There wasn't any turbo build, and there was no items like minis or slurp juice, things like that. So I think a lot of people saw during Fortnite OG that this season really wasn't as good as people thought it was, and a lot of it was just nostalgia. So in that regard, it's not a horrible season, but I just can't rank it any higher because I didn't play it, and there's a lot of other seasons that just did a lot better than it. Coming in at number 8 is season 9. This was the futuristic season that followed the volcano eruption. From the season, we got Neo Tilted and Mega Mall, which looked really cool at first, but as the seasons went, they just didn't really feel the same as the OG Tilted Towers and Retail Row. The season was pretty cool, with a lot of futuristic items being added, like slipstreams and the combat shotgun and AR. But similarly, the slipstreams were just very annoying. You couldn't really get into a single fight without someone either going into the slipstream and running away, or like 4 other teams flying through the slipstream and just third partying you. Another con of this season was vaulting the pump and replacing it with the combat shotgun. The combat shotgun was really good, but it really just wasn't the same function as a pump. A pump you could just get into someone's box and one-shot them, but the combat was more of a long-ranged kind of gun, so it didn't really like using it. and a lot of people were kind of just tired of it. Another addition that really doesn't affect my rankings, it's the fort bites. All of them were just tedious, and just to get some special skin, it took so long. And yeah, so season 9, it was pretty cool and pretty fun, but it really just got boring. Now, coming in at number 7, we have season 6, which was themed Darkness Rises, and was really just about kind of a Halloween theme. The really only major change was Kevin the Cube melting into Loot Lake and causing Loot Lake to be floating. But other than that, my problem with the season is there really just wasn't any additions besides that main thing. There wasn't really anything bad about this season, just that it came off season 5, which added a crazy amount of stuff into a season where they really didn't add anything. Another pro and con about this season was the intro of Fortnite Mares. When this was added originally, it was actually part of Battle Royale, so you kind of had to play it. It was pretty cool at first, especially in the early game, because it was just free loot and just free interactions to have. But when you get into late game and the storm was small and there was like 100 monsters just swarming you while you try to fight someone else, it became pretty annoying. But other than that, the vibe of the season was pretty cool, and Fortnite Mares had some good things about it. But really the only problem with this season, like mentioned before, was just that it wasn't really anything new added, so I can't rank it any higher. Up next, we have Season 8, which was the pirate theme season. Season 8 brought a huge jungle biome to the northeast side of the map, also replacing Wailing Woods with a huge volcano and the temple-themed area Sunny Steps. The theme of the season was great, as well as the previous season, Season 7, giving overtime challenges to give you the Season 8 Battle Pass for free. The cannons and the flintlock pistols were pretty cool, and also just the pirate-themed areas were a cool thing to add. Same with ballers being added and mainly used during this season. They were pretty fun to use. And also Arena really took off during this season, really setting the competitive scene for Fortnite. But the one thing holding the season back was Epic removing Siphon from public matches. This is where you get 50 health or shield on kill, which everyone really liked. It made all the matches a lot more aggressive and also rewarded you for fighting. But they took it out, so it kind of sucked as compared to Season 7, which did have it. But other than that, it definitely had one of the coolest maps out of any Chapter 1 season, and a lot of the stuff they added was fun. Up next, we have Season 5 at number 5. This was the Worlds Collide season, themed with summer season as well. From Season 4, there was a huge rift in the sky, which brought a lot of things to the map. One of the things was Lazy Links, a golf course themed area up where Anarchy Acres was, and then a huge desert biome in the bottom right corner of the map. The main pro of this was an update like this hasn't really been seen before, and Fortnite, other than Season 2, hadn't really changed an entire biome of the map. This season also added actual vehicles to the game with golf carts, and a lot of the things in the season were just really fun because of the time. It was summer, so everyone was just playing all the time. But my main con with the season was the spray meta. They really nerfed the shotguns in this season and then added the drum gun and the P90, which were just insane. They could spray through your walls without even you having enough time to replace them. And the whole match kind of just felt like everyone running like 4 SMGs in their loadout and no shotgun. So other than that one con, this season was really fun, and I would say is easily one of the most fun seasons. Up next, we have a slightly controversial one, me putting it this low. We have Season 2. A lot of people really put this as the number 1 season just because this is when they started playing, and a lot of people see this as the peak of Fortnite. I started playing during this season, but just looking back, the 3 seasons ahead of this were just a little better. They added a little more to the game, and the game kind of just felt more polished. But that's also the major pro of this season. It was just super simple, and all the weapons were simple but complicated enough to where it was still pretty cool. It added one of the biggest map updates in Chapter 1, adding Tilted, Shifty, and other areas like that. I think this season is really the reason Fortnite became as known as it was. That Tilted update skyrocketed the game into being one of the most popular games out there. It was also the peak of Double Pump, which was a glitch, but everyone used it and everyone loved it, so they just treated it as a normal mechanic. Also, this was the introduction of the battle passes, which have stayed in Fortnite for forever and have completely changed all of gaming, with almost every single game adding it. Whether you like that or not, it's just very influential and shows the amount of impact that this season had. But coming in at number 3, I have Season 4, which was the Meteor theme season. This is the first season where Epic really locked in on having a story to the game, and it really made everyone just interested in the season and coming back every week to see what was added. Although the only change was Dusty Depot changing into Dusty Divot, the overall game just stayed incredibly fun from Season 3 and was just one of the most fun times in Fortnite had. The major pros of this season were the addition of Hop Rocks, which was something we haven't really seen before, shopping carts, which was technically the first vehicle, and then having the rocket event was really what changed this season. No other games really have seen a live event like Fortnite did, and they would continue to have these events every season, and it completely made Fortnite unique from any other game. Another thing this season added was the customizable skins, having the Carbide and Omega skin, which was cool and something we'd see a lot more in Fortnite in the future. But really, just in general, I have this number 3, not 2 or 1, just because it didn't really add an insane amount, and it kind of feels the same as our number 2 ranking. Now coming in at number 2, we have Season 3. In my opinion, this is almost the peak of Fortnite, but this is the peak of Fortnite in regards to how the community sees it. This had the perfect balance of gameplay and hype and community with it. This was the season where Ninja and other streamers blew up, having kids in school doing emotes in the middle of class. This was really, in my opinion, the best OG season in regards to having Season 3, 2, and 1. As it's when the game really became polished and felt like a completely finished game. This season also had the addition of Builder Pro, so everyone was getting pretty good at the game, but they weren't insanely good as you'd see in the later seasons. So in my opinion, there was nothing wrong about Season 3. It's just the number 1 season beats it by a little for me. And finally, at our number 1 spot, which is what I consider to be the best season of all time, we have Season 7. I know this isn't really a popular opinion, but just from my experience, this was easily the most fun I've ever had in Fortnite. Really, the combination of the winter area and it being during Christmas just added so much to the game for me. In my opinion, this is kind of what perfect Fortnite was. We had a huge map with many different areas. Season 7 covered the entire corner of the map, bringing Polar Peak, Frosty Flights, Happy Hamlet, and then some other cool unnamed areas. It also added planes and zip lines, which really helped the mobility of the game and made the map feel a little smaller and easier to get around. It also added the hoverboards, which were a lot of people's favorite vehicle in the game. Although a lot of people did hate on the planes, them being just really overpowered, I just found it fun, and you kind of have to look at this season as a non-competitive one and just for pure enjoyment. Another thing they added was the Infinity Blade, which felt like the first kind of event item in the game, which although it was broken, it wasn't in the game for too long, and it was kind of fun to play with and get. This season could also be seen as one of the most influential as it added creative mode, which, as you can see now in Fortnite, is almost more popular than the actual game itself. having a bunch of other custom modes, and then having a free area for people to practice. Although this creative mode a lot of people hate because it made the game so sweaty, this mode was really the reason people have become so good at Fortnite and the pro scene is as big as it is. Me personally, it could just be nostalgia, but I just see no cons with this season. I had so much fun with it, and I felt myself playing the game every single day after school. So that's it for the video. I know I had some controversial rankings, but feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. But if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.